Welcome to the High Performance Man podcast. I am your host, John Fayocavitz. On this show, I interview successful men who have built impressive careers and businesses, founders, CEOs, senior leaders, and professionals who have operated at a high level for years. We talk about what actually made them successful. So the goal is simple: to learn directly from the men who have done it so we can apply those insights into our own careers, businesses, and lives and continue raising our own standard of performance. The show is sponsored by the Prime Performance Method. The Prime Performance Method is designed specifically for high performing men who have achieved success in their careers but feel like their body and energy have taken a hit along the way. We help busy professional men regain strength, lose weight, feel younger without the long workouts, extreme dieting, or disrupting their demanding schedule. So if you're a high performing man who wants to feel strong and energized as you are successful, message me, John Fayocavitz, on LinkedIn. On today's show, we have Richard Hansen, who is the founder and president of Foundation for Anthropological Research and Environmental Studies. Richard, thank you so much for coming. We're so excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to be
You're
here,
so
John.
welcome. Well, that was a long thing that I said, Foundation for Anthropological Research and Environmental Studies. Well, you got to explain that.
All right. Well, John, I'm a research archaeologist, and archaeology is simply ancient anthropology. So, anthropology, the study of man, and archaeology, the study of ancient man. So, what we're doing is working in northern Guatemala in an area called the Mirador Calakmul Karst Basin System. And
Okay.
in that area, we've discovered with LIDAR, an incredible new technology that we've pioneered in Guatemala, 964 archaeological sites that form 417 ancient cities, towns, and villages in this system. And what's the most amazing for us is that the vast majority are extremely early. 1,000 to 2,000 years older than any of the other ruins you'll see in Central America or Mexico.
Wow.
And so we've been exploring this region. It's about 1.6 million acres of pristine jungle with no population, zero population. So
Wow.
and that's why we do the environmental studies too, because I want to understand the entire biological and botanical systems that led to the formation of such a large and early development in this area.
Wow, that is so interesting. So, do you rely on a group or something to help you find where to go and
Well, I have a whole team. We have a whole team. We have up to 400 workmen, and we have 32 archaeological specialists that we work in this area. With the LIDAR, we have 100% of every single pyramid, every single causeway, every single platform, every
wow.
single house. And it penetrates the jungle. That technology can penetrate the jungle and read the jungle floor.
Oh,
And that's what gives us
100%. No problem.
100% of every single feature out there. And that's why we know how what's out there. And I'll never get to see all of them in my lifetime. But we've worked and excavated in 56 of those ancient cities now. And they're extremely early, they're extremely sophisticated, and it's well worth taking a visit down there to see it.
Wow.
We have some of the largest pyramids in the world in that area. And they're
Wow.
the tallest pyramids in the Americas are there. The
In
first
Guatemala.
super, the first in Guatemala, the first superhighway system in the whole world is there.
Wow.
So it's
Yeah.
an interesting story of a page of the human story that we've never really known before. And
So,
that's what we're dealing now with, exploring that and understanding the rise of complex societies in this area.
right. Now, so to get the you do you have a business of archaeology or do you
Well, it's a 501(c)(3) foundation.
okay, so it's a
When you call it a business, it's not like Amazon
non-profit,
or
right?
I mean, it's a it's a public charity, but we've managed to operate now since 1996
That's what I was just going to ask you how long you've been doing it. That's
in this area down there. I've been working in that jungle though since 1978.
wow.
So it's been a real experience, and my family's all grown up down there. My kids have all grown up in jungles, and
That is
uh,
so interesting. So you're also a professor then at Idaho?
I'm at Idaho State University. Yeah, I'm a research professor at the university in Pocatello, Idaho.
Wow.
And before that, I was at the University of Utah, and before that, I was at UCLA for 14 years. Then I graduated with a PhD out of UCLA, but I stayed there as a research professor in geophysics and planetary physics
Right.
at, at UCLA, and then so I'm still in the saddle, still trying to justify the conservation of this area. It's extremely threatened by organized crime.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to save this area as one of the big components is the conservation and permanent protection of this basin because it has all these ancient cities in it.
Right.
And there's nothing you could do. There's no extraction that would generate more revenue for the country of Guatemala than conserving this. The
Right.
conservation of this basin would generate more revenue for the country than anything else they could do. But boy, it's tough when you got organized crime involved, it's tough to convince certain
What are
powers.
they doing there
They're laundering drug money.
in that area?
Oh yeah, billions with a B.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah,
That is, there's nothing that law enforcement can do, huh?
yeah, it's pretty tough because when you're laundering billions, a 10,000 or 50,000 or $100,000 bill is nothing.
Oh,
So,
Jesus.
that kind of corruption it sifts through the entire system. But
Wow.
there's light at the end of the tunnel. The Guatemalan Congress right now has an initiative of to declare this whole basin as a wilderness area, as a wilderness cultural and natural sanctuary
I was
without
just,
roads and without airstrips. The
right,
idea is to neutralize organized crime without confronting them.
right.
Because if we confront them, we're dead in 2 days.
Real life story, huh? You see
Real
them in
life.
you see
Yeah,
it in the movies, man, right?
it's the real life here. This is the real McCoy. And again, by making this sanctuary without roads and without airstrips, because
Hey,
organized crime needs airstrips and they need roads
right,
to remove illicit products. This
right,
gives the Guatemalans a fighting chance to save this area. So they're hopeful that that will happen. You never know. When that
right.
kind of money is against you, you never know you know, what's going to
Yeah.
happen. But at least they drafted the initiative. At least it's in the Congress, and we'll see what happens.
Wow. That's frightening. Frightening, frightening, man.
Well,
So,
it's just astonishing to me how much we contribute to that in the U.S. And all that stuff snuffing up our nose.
oh
You
yeah,
know, I mean, why? And believe me, it's not innocent. There's a trail of bodies as far as you can see from this. So there's a
wow,
lot of blood on a lot of American hands
right,
because they wanted to snuff up powder up their nose.
right. Oh boy. Well, my questions then, Richard, you were just replaced what might use business with foundation, okay? Your foundation.
Yeah.
All right. So my first question is, what's the most important lesson you've learned so far that's helped you become successful with your foundation?
Well, I grew up as a farm boy. I mean, I was we still I still own farms in Idaho, but man, the hard work and the effort and the risk and the realizing that what matters is productivity. It's not the idea or the it's the productivity that counts in the end. Even
Right.
though you have strikes against you, even though you have opposition, you have to make the productivity work. So that's passed on to other aspects of my life too, you know.
Right.
Just the risk and the hard work will pay off, but you got to put it in. That
You
means,
put the time in.
the 8 hour a day kind of guy doesn't, and I don't know anybody that's wealthy that puts in 8 hours a day.
Right.
It's 10 to 15 or sometimes 20 hours a day for most of those guys.
Right.
And the heavy duty lifters, the guys that are really are successful are not 8 to 5 kind of guys. Uh,
Right.
and that has a toll too on families. It has a toll too on stress. It takes its toll when you have those kind of stress, but it also has rewards in other ways that make it beneficial. So
So the hard work and probably the never give up attitude too.
yeah, well, that's true. And like I say, I know a lot of very wealthy people, but they've never worked from 8 to 5, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 6 to 7 days a week. None
Right.
of it's a 4 day work week schedule,
Yep.
even when they're on vacation, they're working, and so it's been a real lesson to watch that and realize that's what it
Right.
takes to make a successful
So
story.
maybe that goes into my next question. Okay. What do you think hinders a lot of men from reaching their full potential today?
Lack of vision. If you can't dream it and then make it happen, then it just remains a dream.
Right.
The lack of vision.
Lack of vision.
And you look at Elon Musk, for example, came to the U.S. with $400. Um, I mean, there's a vision there, and because of the vision and the risk, tremendous success.
Right.
And I don't know, I know a lot of people, but the people that I know that really succeeded are the ones they never inherited this. They earned it. And
Right.
it's not an overnight process. It's a long, hard haul with risk, and it takes a lot of vision to make it happen.
Right. And then when you go along with risk, I coincide that, or when again you mentioned Musk and all these guys like Gates and all the wealthy people, failures. Okay.
Well, yeah, every one of
It-
them has failed in something.
right. And
You
if
know,
you can use it,
Thomas
right,
Edison failed 999 times, you know.
exactly. And if we can learn how to use those failures instead of quitting and going to another and pivoting to another area or something you're not good at or passionate about,
Yeah,
okay,
well, that's another secret to success. If you have the passion for it, it never work.
right,
It just becomes something you look forward to every day, something you get up to and think about, dream about, and work hard for, but it's not work.
right.
It becomes work if you just putting in the hours to
You know what
get a
I
paycheck,
I
you know.
always say to people, if you get up out of bed without an alarm clock, that means you're enjoying what you're doing.
That's right. That's right.
If you
That's
have to
right.
use an alarm clock or you hit the snooze button, you're like, oh, another day,
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right.
you know. But again, going back to the failures, if we can just use them as a growth experience instead of a negative experience, okay, which a lot of people, I mean,
Well, everybody I know that has ever succeeded has failed too.
right,
And it's a learning curve, and by understanding what you fail at, then you understand what you got to do different
right.
to make it
Yeah.
successful. So,
Okay, great. Next question, Richard. For most men on the road to business or professional success, other areas of their life get sacrificed. You were just talking about putting in all those long hours. What's been one of the areas of your life that has suffered, if there has been, but where would you like to be successful now too? So it's like a two-part question.
Well, that's a great question. Um, my earlier, my I have 7 kids. Um, the first 3 I spent more time with them. The last 4 I was gone. I traveled more. I was giving conferences all over the world, in Mongolia, China, Europe, South America, Central America. I give talks all over the world, and I missed a lot of their events. In retrospect, I think when it's all said and done, nobody's going to care that you drove a Mercedes or that you had a Rolex watch. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they aren't going to care if you had a good family.
Yeah.
And that's I've struggled to make sure that I spend as much quality time with my kids as possible because when it's all said and done, that's what really counts. That's where it really matters.
Right. And I again, we're doing a lot of the podcasts. I won't, that is one of the main things is the support from the spouse and family.
Oh yeah, you couldn't do it without it. And thank heavens, my spouse was a is a scientific illustrator, so it could justify me going into the jungle for months at a time because I could take her, and then all the kids came in and grew up in jungles. They're all doctors today, but
Wow.
medical doctors. But it was that scientific in focus. That was the hard work, the 3-day hike through a jungle, living in
Right.
a tent, learning, that
Wow.
I think gave them an advantage to learn those concepts. Um,
Wow.
I put them to work on the farms. We had to move sprinkler pipe, and they learned how to hoe sugar beets and work in potato cellars and all those skills that you do something whether you like it or not, you do it to get the accomplishment done.
Right.
And
Wow.
um, and so I think that's all important. In retrospect, though, I think I would have canceled some of that speaking engagements or avoided them to spend more time with my last 4 kids. Top 3 did great. The last 4 doing great, but I miss the some of the events that I missed. I
Wow.
missed
But I tell you, you can't
being
give.
Clara in the Nutcracker or a basketball game that was a crucial basketball game that I couldn't attend to, or missing a family trip because I had other obligations to meet them, pay the bills, kind of a
Right.
thing, you know. When
Wow.
it's all said and done, family is what really counts. And some of these
Well,
guys
the,
that
the
are,
learning
you know,
experiences that your kids developed back going to the jungle and all the
oh
things that
yeah.
I mean, that's priceless.
Yeah, they have. It's worked off.
Do
I've
they
got
ever
brain
mention,
surgeons and eye surgeons and thoracic surgeons and
did they
and
ever mention
pediatric
that that helped
oncologists.
them?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, every one of them. Because when you're hiking through a jungle and you just want to hike anymore, you can stay there on the trail and become jaguar poop, or you can keep hiking.
Oh my
And
God. Jaguar. Oh, that is unbelievable. Okay.
so that it kind of pays off.
Yep.
I have to give a lot of credit to that experience for them too, because it taught them a lot of the skills that I learned on the farm and they learned it in the jungle. So
Right. Wow. So my second part of the question, if you remember, where would you like to be successful now too? Is there any area, anything that you specifically
well,
want to be?
my focus right now is to try to get this basin conserved,
Okay.
and protected. I mean, this is, look at the vision of Roosevelt in 1872 that formed the Yellowstone National Park, the first national park in the world.
Right.
He had opposition from the miners and the loggers and the sheep guys and the cattle guys, and everybody was opposed to that. But look at the vision that he had. save
Yeah.
this area. Yosemite, the same thing. The
Yep.
Grand Canyon is the same thing, you know.
Okay.
And here we have something we just discovered that is one of the greatest concentration of ancient cities in the world.
World.
And no, we have to cut it down. We have to loot it. We have to poach the animals and sell the meat in the market. We have to, use it for human trafficking. This is the mentality of this and we have to cut it down for laundering drug money. That's the mentality we're dealing with in the opposition to the protection of
Wow.
some of the greatest cultural and natural phenomena in the world. And we've discovered 27 new species of butterflies, for example, that exist
Oh,
nowhere else in the world. We have new species of reptiles. We have new species of other insects that we've never seen before. So, and plants. We got plants that are extraordinarily valuable for pharmaceutical uses. The fact that we have this incredible cultural and natural heritage just 2 hours south of our borders is a battle that I'm trying to get involved with now and trying to save this area. It takes money to do that. I'm trying to raise the millions of dollars that it's going to take to do this, but it's a primary
did,
focus right now.
do you get grants or anything like that from the
Yeah,
government?
yeah. I write proposals and we get grants, but mostly from big foundations and institutions and
Right.
private individuals.
Right.
I deal with people like Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, I was the consultant for his film Apocalypto,
Oh, yeah.
and but he's been a good friend ever since, and he's been supported this project with the tune of millions of dollars because he believes in the model to
That's
develop
great.
the area so that it's protected and yet involves the communities that surround this basin could be an active part of the economic pie. And
Right.
that's crucial.
Wow. 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 You're very interesting, man. This is an interesting podcast, man. This is now, which goes to my last question. Well, not one, my next to last. With all this going on in your life and everything, where do you find yourself at peace?
Well, I, uh,
Mhm.
I can escape. I compose music, for example. I write my own music. I escape there. I escape with a fishing rod in my hand, fishing for trout in Idaho.
Okay.
Uh, we still can function that way, but we have to just make it happen. So
Wow.
um, we had a great
Okay.
fishing trip not too long ago with all my grandkids, and it was a great.
So fishing and composing music is really where you decompress.
That's right. That's where I escape
Yeah.
from the other stresses. So,
Okay. And like you said, Idaho's got all the good fishing holes.
oh boy, yeah, there's a great fishing out here. It's not as good as it used to be.
What's the
But
what's the what's the big fish out there? What's the species?
it's the big rainbows, the cutthroat, and the cutthroat trout, and the big German brown trout.
Okay.
Boy, it's. And if you know where to go, the meat is just exquisite. It's just pink as it can be and fat, big fat trout.
And
And we
being a
enjoy it.
health person, that's what I want to hear because that's where you want to have wild caught fish,
That's exactly right. That's
not that
exactly
farm
it.
raised stuff.
This tilapia stuff that's raised in a poop
Yep.
pond is not
Yep.
not.
Nothing better. Like we're in Pennsylvania. When I came down from Pennsylvania, and there's nothing better than fresh trout.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing better. Okay. My last question then, Richard, is if you were to give one piece of advice to other men that are starting out in a journey to achieving success, what would that be?
Follow the passion.
That's good.
Follow the passion. Don't because, like I say, it'll never become work. If you
Yep.
follow the passion and have the vision, passion and vision takes a little bit of both to make that happen. It's light and truth kind of a thing,
Right.
you know.
And keep the path. Like we talked
And keep
before,
yeah.
you
As
got your
long as you have a
vision.
good idea, yeah, as long as you have a good idea, it will pan out if you have the passion for it.
Right. And then the
But you
vision
have
and
to have the
everything else.
vision. That's where the vision comes in. You have to have that passion to make it happen.
You got it. Well, Richard, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, man. Thank you so much for taking the
Thank
time to
you.
be on. You were so interesting. I mean, what you've shared with us today is something I'm telling you, my audience is going to go, holy crap.
Well, if they're interested, the Foundation for Anthropological
Yes.
Research Affairs, FARES. You can
Okay.
find
That's
us
what
on
I
the
want to
web
hear.
at miradorbasin.com. So,
Okay.
um, and if they're interested, we'd love to have support. We need the support and become a part of history.
Beautiful. Absolutely great, Richard. And as a reminder to everyone else listening to the show, brought to you by the Prime Performance Method, where we help high performing men rebuild strength, energy, and confidence without sacrificing their careers. So if you're ready to feel strong in your body as you are successful in your business, message me at John Fayocavitz on LinkedIn. Until our next episode, perform strong in all areas of your life.